Hey guys, it's me, Halloween Dan, doing a super quick video because it's a boiling hot, sunny summer's day.
Damn you, son!
So naturally I thought, let's go inside, sit in the shade and talk about Halloween stuff, which is exactly what I'm doing. You might remember in the last video, I very briefly talked about the fact that we're at that time of year where lots of people have started buying the first few things they're gonna get for Halloween. In fact, for some people, they're already done. They've already bought everything they're gonna have for this Halloween season. And I have barely started at all. And even though I didn't want to cave to just buying any old nonsense just so that I could say I'd bought something for Halloween, well, that's pretty much exactly what I've done. So let's talk about the randomness that I bought. This season's been a really peculiar one for me. For the first time ever, as I've come into the Halloween season, I haven't had a very clear idea of exactly what I want to buy.
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
Usually every single year there's one prop or there's something, even if it's quite a simplistic thing like my jumping spider last year, there's always something I kind of wanted to add to my collection or that I've specifically wanted to put into my haunt. And this year, not so much. I've been holding out, waiting for the perfect prop, hoping maybe something Frankenstein or vampire related might appear. And as of yet, nothing that really hits home for me. I know what some of you are going to say, Home Depot, I've got a great Frankenstein's monster, and I agree. I really do agree. I love the Home Depot Frankenstein's monster, one of my favourite props of this year. But I'm not sure he's right for my haunt. And to be honest, he will cost an absolute fortune to ship to the UK. So I've been very much on the fence about, is that prop worth £500? That's been the question mark in my head. £250? Definitely. 500? I'm not so sure. Great prop, absolutely love him, but I'm not sure he's worth £500, which is pretty much the minimal amount that it would cost to both buy and ship that guy over to the UK. So yeah, I'm not sold. And in general, I found it really difficult this year to put my finger on exactly the kind of prop I want to buy. And in some strange ways, I've almost been a little bit pickier in a strange kind of way. There's been several props that I've wanted to buy and then nearly gone to buy, and then at the last moment hesitated and changed my mind and not bought. The big one for me so far has been the Haunted Standing Lady out of the range, which I still think is a really good prop. But every time I've gone to think about buying her, I've hesitated because I think it's that £60 price tag. Even though it's a good prop and I like her, I'm not sure she's worth £60, and I keep on finding myself hesitating over whether to buy her or not. Then I also think I'm not sure she's right for my haunt. So, but it is from the range and one other store that my first few random purchases of the year have come from. And I finally bit the bullet and I just tentatively entered the Halloween stream and started buying just a few tiny and, let's face it, quite random, quite silly things, which pretty much makes the beginning of my haunt season anyway, to be fair. So the first store I want to talk about that I bought a few random things from the other day is a store I visit every season. It's one of the first stores here in the UK to start stocking anything remotely Halloweeny, and that was HOMESENSE. Now, I haven't got to visit TK Maxx, its kind of parent company, if you like, but I have been to HOMESENSE, which always does a nice range of Halloweeny goods. The HOMESENSE I visited didn't have tons and tons at that moment in time, so I am planning on revisiting a HOMESENSE at some point, but I still treated myself to a couple of random things. The first thing was this. It's another mug to add to my Halloween mug collection. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to build a shelf for all the mugs that I've bought. This was $4.99, which is a bit of a bargain. It's got my favourite Halloween character, a witch on a broomstick with a cat. And it's enormous. It's a massive mug. I have drunk out of it. It's at least 2 cups of tea in one. So that's good for me. Then, and you might have seen in the last video just very briefly, we got this pillow. Look at this throw pillow. Isn't this nice? With a cheeky little spider on it. Yeah, so this was, I think this was $12.99. It was the only one in the store. And it's got this really, really cool kind of multicolored fabric which makes up the cobweb. And then in the corner here, we've got this quite large, quite substantial tarantula-sized spider just sort of hanging out on the corner of the pillow. And yeah, I thought that was really neat. But it was the range that has seen my first and most random purchases. But they're not random. They might seem random, but they're not random. Now, they're in a box. I'm calling this an unboxing. It's not really an unboxing because I have looked at these. I got these about 3 or 4 days ago now. But let's just pretend that I haven't seen these and it's fresh out of the box. So the first item is definitely the most random. That's certainly something I never ever anticipated upon buying, but then did. And it's this guy. This is animated Harold the Headless. I think I just kind of liked the name, to be quite honest with you. He's a 3-foot prop. He's basically completely empty-legged because the idea is he's a hanging prop. So he's got this piece of clear cord that hangs over him here. And what I'm planning to do with him, I am actually going to fill him out a little bit, give him his body some realism, I suppose, and have him sat towards the front of my castle that I'm planning to build. But he's okay. He's a relatively substantial skeleton. He's very simplistic, as most things out of the range are. The costume is okay. It kind of reminds me of Mr. Bean. I'm not quite sure. Is this dead Mr. Bean? I'm not quite sure. I don't think it's going to take a genius to figure out what this guy does, but I thought I'll show you what he does before we move on.
Surprise! It's party time!
Yeah. Who'd have thought it? Yeah, this guy is a headlifting prop. I've still got him on demo mode at the minute, but when you have him in active mode, he basically, you have to make a sound around him or touch him and he will be activated. And the activation, I think he's only got like 2 different phrases, and he lifts his head off his shoulders. That's the whole thing. But you know what? For £22, I thought he was pretty cool. Like I say, everything else in the range at the minute I'm kind of looking at going, I'm not sure it's worth £30, £40, £50. But this guy was free delivery and also only £22. So I thought he'll go really good with my castle. He kind of has a, skeletons, castles, haunted castle vibe going on. He'll be quite fun just by the front somewhere where he can be easily triggered. And yeah, all I have to do is, like I say, thicken him out, give him some legs, maybe stick a pole up his butt.
What?
So that he can stand out there. He's a skeleton, he's not going to feel it. But I like him. Simple, very simplistic. But I like him.
Oh, scared you, didn't I?
You did. The second random purchase from the range maybe isn't quite as random as him, because this was something I was planning on buying. This is something I think makes perfect sense for my castle haunt again. And that is this guy. This is the hanging animated bat. Again, these are not the most amazing props in the world. They are all very simplistic. But you know what? I think he'll look pretty good hanging above my castle scene. So let's see what he does. So very early on in the design of my castle, I knew that I wanted a bat flying around, whether it be around the belfry that I'm planning on building, like a little mini tower, or just around the top of the castle, above all the rest of the scene. Bats, castles go hand in hand. I always knew I wanted a bat. But most of the bats I was finding were quite simplistic bats, very simplistic bats that didn't even flap their wings. And then I saw this guy on the range the other day and I thought, he'll be cool, he'll be really cool. Now he doesn't flap his wings particularly fast. I did expect him maybe a bit of a faster wing movement, but it's okay. You can see that it's flapping its wings. What I didn't expect was the head turn. Its head turns as he's sort of doing his... I don't know why he's laughing. I would have preferred just a squeaky bat noise. I don't know why it's laughing, but then I suppose it's Dracula. I think he'll look really good in my haunt hanging above the castle. He's got a lot more animation than I expected him to do. And he was $18.99 with free postage and packaging. He is a pretty good buy. I mean, he needs a bit of adjustment maybe in the legs and maybe in the wings. But he'll look really good flying above my castle. Won't you, bud? And that's it for random actual purchases that I've received. I have bought 2 other things from Asda though that are gonna be kind of different. One of the things, actually both of the things, they're both very random in that I don't actually know if they're going to be any good. I've just kind of bought them. I've just kind of acted on impulse and bought these things. I'm not sure if they're actually very good, but they weren't overly expensive. So we will see. But for today, guys, that's it. I just wanted to really quickly show you what I'd got to show you that I have at least started buying a few things, even if they are on the more random and kind of weird end of the spectrum. Thank you very much for watching, guys. And
Woo! Scared you, didn't I?
keep it spooky. Bye.